Hello friends, welcome to Java2D tutorial. In this video, we are going to see how to draw lines using Point2D, Line2D and draw method of graphics 2D. Here, say for example, if you consider this a specific line, it involves 2 point, then 1 line. So this is line 1, point 1, point 2. So likewise, you can draw multiple line using the Point2D and Line2D instances. The Point2D class with its internal subclass float or double represents a point object in two-dimensional space. So here Point2D is the class which contains two internal classes. So you can either use a float or double. That way you can define a point in graphics 2D. So one can use it like this. Here if you see Point2D dot float, this float here represents the internal subclass of Point2D. Then here we are actually declaring a reference. The reference is pt1. Then here you can use the new, then Point2D dot float. Like that you can create a point object in graphics 2D. The same way Line2D can also be used as Line2D, and if you see float, or you can even use a double. Then here we are defining a reference. This reference is of type float, which comes from Line2D, so the internal class of Line2D. Once we have 2 point in hand, that means here Point2D float. Likewise, if you have say for example you created 2 point instance, one is p1 and another one is p2, you can create a line object like this: Line2D float Line2D equal to new Line2D dot float of, here to the constructor we are passing the 2 point instance. So that means here what happens actually, you have point p1, then you have point p2. So once you give these 2 points to Line2D, then the graphics method knows how to draw a line between these 2 points. So let's see an example. Here if you see, our example class is G01 Line2D example, which extends from frame. So this is actually a frame class. Inside frame class, if you see, we have an array list of lines. So Line2D dot float lines equal to new. Here we are actually creating the array list. So we created a array list. At this time the array list is empty. Then we just declared 2 point pt1 and pt2. So these are all the members of JFrame. Then in the constructor, so this is our class name, right? So in the constructor we are taking the title. So using this title we can set our frame name. So here we are making call to super title. That means we are invoking the base class constructor. After that, just like how we did in our AWT or swing series, we are setting the bounds. So here we are defining the position, and this one is the size. That means width and height we are specifying. This is for the frame class. Then we are getting the content pane and we are setting the flow layout. So if you want to know all this, you should have a prior knowledge on AWT or Swing. Since here we are using the JFrame, this tutorial make use of a Swing component, and you should know Swing, and we have a separate playlist for Swing. If you know basic knowledge of Swing, and you can directly jump into this Java2D tutorial. Next, in the constructor itself, here we are registering the mouse listener, add mouse listener, and new mouse adapter. Here this open curly braces, this is actually a method called add mouse listener. It is called inside the JFrame, and instead of creating a new class and passing the instance of that new class, here we are creating an anonymous inner class. That means here we are defining the class inside the method itself, new mouse adapter. Then we are handling the mouse pressure event. So in the mouse pressure event, we take the X position and Y position. Then we construct Point2D object. Here if you see, we are using the float notation to create an instance, and we are storing that in PT1. PT1 was a member of, we already saw that in the previous slide, it's a member of the frame class. So PT1 is ready on mouse pressed. Then during the mouse released, once again we use the mouse event, we get the X and Y coordinate. Using that, we construct one more point and we store that inside PT2. So now we have PT1, we have PT2. Using this PT1 and PT2, we construct a Line2D. Here if you see, this is Point2D float, here it is Line2D. We are constructing a line object using these 2 points. One is at mouse pressed and another one is captured at mouse release. Alright, now we have Line2D ready and we are adding it to our array list. Here we are making call to repaint. We know that this repaint will call the paint method on the frame class. It will also pass the graphics object. So, alright. Then now our next goal is writing this paint graphics. So if you see here, we have a frame window. In that frame window, we defined PT1. We told it is a Point2D instance. Then PT2, the next point. After that, we have an array list of points. These are all the members of our frame, and here using the add method, we are adding the line instance to our array list. Next, here we override the paint method for the frame class, and this is graphics, right? And in the previous video, we already saw graphics 2D is a subclass of graphics, or in other words, graphics is the superclass of graphics 2D. So since we are getting graphics G here, we are casting it to graphics 2D and we get graphics 2D instance here. So this way we can get additional functionality on top of this graphics package, I mean the graphics class. Alright, we know that lines is the array list of Line2D. We are getting the iterator here. So this one requires knowledge on collection. If you have a collection, you can get a iterator, then you can iterate through the collection of entities or elements. So the iterator also covered in one of our playlist. So you have to look at the collection course. There we covered in detail about the iterators. Alright, we retrieved iterator for our array list, and the array list is a collection of Line2D. So this is how we declared our iterator of Line2D. So iterator.hasNext, this way we are forming the while loop to iterate over each line. We formed this while loop, and inside, if you see, we already have Graphics2D. We are making call to draw method, and itr.next will give Line2D instance. Remember, we added this Line2D on mouse release. So in the previous slide, you saw we handled the mouse press and mouse release using the adapter class, mouse adapter. And now here in the paint, we are actually iterating through the line instance, and itr.next will give Line2D instance, and we are passing that to the draw method of Graphics2D. Since it knows whatever it gives is a Line2D, it will draw that line. So the sequence goes like this. Let's say user pressed the mouse button, then they released the mouse button. During the release, what we will do, we will register point P2, then we will add we will construct a line, and then we will add that to the array list. Then we make a call to repaint, and repaint will make a call to this paint method. So if you see, we called repaint on the mouse release handler function, right? So repaint will erase the background, then it will make a call to paint. So the moment you come here to the paint method, you will be having a clean whiteboard, or simply the drawing area of the frame window is cleared. So here in the array list, we will iterate through all the line object and we will draw the line. In this example, if you see, at this moment we have only one line that will get redrawn. That will get drawn here. So we have line 1, right? Suppose if you have one more mouse press and mouse released, the line of the array list already has line 1. Here it will register P1, P2, creates a new line instance and adds that to the collection. So we will be having line 2. What happens in the mouse release, we call repaint, right? Repaint means it will erase line 1 as well as this is not yet drawn. Line 1 it will erase before coming here. So the previously drawn line is erased and we will come here and the execution goes, and this time the iterator runs for 2 times. When it is running for the first time, it gets the first line object, that is get passed to the Graphics2D. This line is drawn. Now second time we will get this line and this one also get drawn. So like this, during each mouse press and release, the array list will grow, and in the paint method, using the iterator, we will iterate through each element and we will supply the line object to the draw method, and the draw method will draw all the line that is there in the array list. So if this is our array list, and if you are seeing 3 line object L1, L2, L3, that means each one is formed during the mouse press. P1 is formed during mouse release. P2 is formed. Line object L1 is constructed and added here. Similarly, in the next mouse press and mouse release, P1, P2 and line 2 is generated and it will get added. So likewise, we will be seeing a multiple line in our screen. Finally, in our main method, we create instance of our frame G01 Line2D example. Then we will show the frame. So this is just to display the frame, and this is our program entry point. You can see public static void main. That means this is our entry point. From here we construct our frame and we will make it visible using the setVisible method. Now it's demo time. We will go to the demo. This time we are not using any window builder. From next video onwards we will start using the window builder. Alright, now let's go to the demo. Here, if you see, I already created a workspace on this specific location. You can create a workspace at any location. I mean, you can simply create a folder, and then when you are launching the Eclipse, in the Eclipse launcher screen, you can browse to that new location, Java2D, and click launch. If you want to use your existing workspace, you can do that. But here I just created a new folder, Java2D. Then here I browse to that specific location, Java2D. Then I am clicking launch here. Alright, here let's choose file, new project, and we will name the project as Line Java2D. Click next and finish it. So our project is ready. We will create a package. So right click on the project name, new package. If it is not displayed, click on the other button and choose or type package here to filter it. Then click package, choose next. Here I am naming the package as a tube coding.examples.len.java2d. So the package is ready here. Next we need to create a new class. So choosing new class. So I'm naming this class as G01 Line2D example, and superclass is frame. So here I am typing javax.swing.jframe, or you can try your luck, you can directly type jframe. So if there are multiple jframe class with a different package, and you have to choose a correct one, but at this moment with the current runtime I have only jframe that is coming from javax.swing package. Alright, now we will click finish here. So we need class members. So before going with the constructor, here we have class members defined. Array list is from java.util package. Line2D is from Java AWT geom package, geometry package. So Point2D also from the same package. So that's all. We imported what is required. Line2D, Point2D. These two are coming from Java AWT geom package. And you can read the definition here. Alright. Then here we need a constructor. So just right clicking here. Source. Generate constructor from superclass. And we just need only one constructor that it takes a string as parameter. Here this string will set the title for our frame, or you can just simply click this one, then you have to provide a method to set the title. So instead I'm just choosing the string version of the constructor, and the access is public. So this is the constructor. So here it is already setting the title. So as already explained in the slide, we are setting the size and position for our JFrame. Then we are retrieving the content pan from java.awt package. So we imported it. Flow layout also from the same package. So once we retrieve the content pan, we can add controls to the content pane of the JFrame. So if you add a button to control host.add, the JFrame window will display the button. So all these stuffs are covered in Swing tutorial. We already have a playlist, and in that we covered this stuff. Next, inside the constructor itself, we are adding a mouse listener. We'll save the content. So the mouse event is from java.awt.event. Once this is resolved, we will go to mouse adapter and we will save the content. This is also already explained. When mouse pressed, we register first point P1 and we register second point P2 during mouse released. Since we have both P1 and P2, we construct our line object. Once a line object is ready, we add it to our array list. Lines.add Line2D. So in reverse way, if you see, this is our array list. We are adding a line. To construct the line, we need 2 points. Second point, we are registering it in mouse released, and first point we are registering during the mouse press action. Finally, here we are making call to the repaint. Alright. So this is our constructor, right? After the anonymous inner class mouse adapter. Here we can override the paint method. Source, override or implement method. So it will be available in the window. So it's not there in the frame. And in the window object, we can find the paint graphics. So click on this and click OK. Okay, since we are inside the constructor, alright, so here the override placed the skeleton code for the paint. So you can even manually type this signature. You can use @override just to inform that you are overriding the paint method, or just to inform you are overriding a method. Then here you can manually type this. Alright, we are overriding the paint method. So Graphics2D is from Java.awt. Iterator is from util. Here if you see, there are two iterator. We have to use the one that comes from java.util package. So I am importing that iterator. That's all. Here we are iterating through the lines collection which we collected here, and we are making call to g2d.draw. So g2d.draw will get a shape. So the shape here is Line2D. So the same method you can use for any Graphics2D object. At this moment we are using Line2D. In the next coming series we will see other objects as well, like rectangle, ellipse, all those stuff. Alright, our frame window is ready. Now we will create a new class for the program entry. Right click on the package name, or even you can right click here on the project name. Then choose new class. Since this time here we right click the project name, it is defaulting to the Java2D package. If there are multiple packages, then you have to choose the package name. Here, since it is already default to the Java2D package, I am leaving it as it is. So this is the class name G01 main entry, and here we are asking for the public static void main. This is the program entry. This is the program entry. Alright, that's all. Inside our void main, we create the instance of G01 Line2D example, which is nothing but a frame. That's why here we construct our frame and we supply the title. So this will appear as the frame's title. Alright, we will save it. We will run this now. So it displays Line2D, Point2D example. That's the title we gave here. And let's draw multiple line. So I'm pressing down the mouse, dragging it and releasing it here. Pressing down, dragging and releasing it. That's all. Here if you see, we just drawn some line segment using the Graphics2D package. Alright, now let's close this. Just now you saw the demo. Code snippet is available in the video description. Thank you for watching. Bye.